Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. Won't you share with a friend or two? Good morning, good morning to you. You. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. You. Good morning. Good morning to you. And many more. And many more. And many more. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Daring Dialogues. I'm your host today, Shante Charles, and I want to thank you for your time and your attention. I hope that you're having a great and wonderful day. It is Wednesday, it is Relationship Wednesday, and we are hopping back into just one book for today as we get ready for the holidays. Set Boundaries, Find Peace, a guide to reclaiming yourself. And we are on the topic of family. And this particular section is talking about boundaries and what your boundaries may sound like and what your boundaries may look like. And I am kind of putting that in the context of specifically as we head into the holiday season, and you might be seeing more of your family than you normally do throughout the year. So we're going to look at today with boundaries, what boundaries with your in-laws might sound like, what boundaries with your partner might sound like, and having and holding boundaries with other family members, signs that you need boundaries, boundaries, what they would look like, what they would sound like, and then we're going to end and wrap up with boundaries with co-parents today. All right. So let's get into all of the boundaries. As we do that, um, Pastor Ben, I'm going to go ahead and send you the connecting link so that when we get to that point, hopefully you will already have it and be ready to go. All right, and I have gone ahead and sent you that link in advance. All right, boundaries with your in-laws can sound like the following. For example, we want our children to speak openly with us. Do not advise our children to keep secrets from us. I know that you care about our family and I understand that you want to be involved, but it's important for us to figure out how to navigate on our own. We're grateful that you're willing to help us financially. When you do so, please do it from the kindness of your heart, not with the expectation that we have to do something or be something in return. The way you parented seems different from what we're doing with our children, and that's okay. We ask that you respect the way we raise our children by adhering to our wishes and guidelines for them. How boundaries with your partner? Okay. Um, is that better? Is that better? How boundaries with your partner would sound. I know you're close to your father, but don't discuss the personal details of our intimacy with him. When you share things with your parents first, it makes me feel left out. I would like to be the first to know what's happening with you. It isn't okay for you to keep things from me and share them with your parents. When I set boundaries with your parents, I'd like you to support me. Important reminders. Be gentle with your partner as they learn to set boundaries with their parents. It's okay to share your boundary with your in law if your partner doesn't do so. Don't allow boundary violations to go on too long without intervening and making sure that people know what your boundaries are. Now, let's get into boundaries with other family members. My sister hates all my friends. Whenever I invite her anywhere with my friends, she finds a reason to have an issue with them. It's been this way since we went away to separate colleges. It's almost like she wants to be my only person. Monica was tired of trying to include her sister in plans, only to have her sister ruin the moment. At her 23rd birthday, her sister had an argument with Monica's college roommate. Afterward, she spent most of her time at the party trying to console her sister and not focusing on the rest of the guests. Much like your parents, your other family members know how to push your buttons. Whether it's your siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, or grandparents, they may want a prominent role in your life. It's okay for them to have a part, but you have to guide them on how you want them to show up and how much you want them to show up. Signs that you need boundaries with your other family members. They use guilt trips as a way to get you to do what they want. They share personal stories that cause you to feel embarrassed. Now, I know around the holiday time, a lot of times people get into personal stories, childhood stories, reminiscing back in the day, right? But if you feel like every time you go to a holiday event, it sort of turns into harping on the same stories, right? It turns into harping on the same stories, or it's harping on stories that always make you look like the butt of the joke. That definitely becomes problematic. They are involved in whom you choose to date. They have no filter in the opinions that they share about you with others. They gossip to you about other family members. They share your personal business with other family members without your consent. They push you to live a lifestyle unlike the one you want to live. You have codependent relationships with them, or your relationships are enmeshed. And we talked about what enmeshment was way, way back in the previous season. But these are all signs that you need boundaries with your other family members. Some of those boundaries can look like the following: allowing yourself personal distance, attending family events because you want to, not because you're being pressured to, not allowing family members to comment on your dating status, your marital status, your weight, or any area of your life that you are not comfortable discussing publicly or even privately. Identifying what you want in your relationships with family, creating an experience that may be different from the family norm. I know that there is a lot of people who have gotten into creating a family tradition that they are starting themselves. They don't need anyone's permission, and that's I think that's something that everybody should sort of know, is that when you have your own family, you don't need other people's permission to create a new tradition, to start something new, to start something different, to do something differently, even if that is changing something on your menu, right? I know people have their sort of their staple things that they want to do for Thanksgiving, but I have seen people say, hey, when it comes to the holidays, I know for us, for many years, we chose to not do a holiday dinner at all if we were not going to visit relatives. We chose to eat out and not, do the whole all day, several days cooking. That was our tradition, going out to dinner as opposed to staying in and cooking, because I cook all the time. So that's just something to think about. What are some traditions that you want to form with your family that might be new, that might be out of the norm? I actually have my volume all the way up, and I'm actually yelling on my end. Um, I think it has something to do with YouTube. I know someone mentioned that when I sent the link, my volume went all the way down, and I don't have a way to control that, um, unfortunately. So I'm very sad that my voice is now going in and out. Can you all hear me a little better? Can you hear me a little better? Because I am yelling. I'm yelling! But I will continue to yell for this episode just to make sure you all hear me, okay? All right. Boundaries with your other family members sound like the following: we aren't as close as we used to be, and I see that it's impacting our relationship. I will not invite you to go out with my friends if you make jealous comments or try to make the evening about yourself. That would be a way that you could express your boundary. Here's another one. You and I know we do not agree on politics. We do not agree on religion. We do not agree on sexuality. Whatever the disagreement is, we should not be discussing this at family gatherings because we know it's going to lead to an argument. That could be a boundary. That might be what a boundary sounds like. I know you're concerned that I'm happy in my relationships. However, I don't want you to give me dating advice or ask me about my dating life. That's a boundary. You don't have to go into an explanation of why, but that's a solid boundary. All right. I'm very concerned about such and such family member, but I will not enable them by helping to pay their bills again. That's setting a boundary. I don't want to be in the middle of a family dispute. I will no longer be the mediator. So don't come bring me news about the dispute. That is a way of setting a boundary. Some important reminders here. You may be the first in your family to set boundaries. Remember that doing something different may elicit an unwelcome response, especially if everybody in your family goes along to get along. Everybody in your family says for Thanksgiving, we're all going to dress in matching PJs and take a family photo. How are you going to handle that if you don't want to be in those pajamas? All right? That has been, I would probably say, the last 5 years, that's been a thing, for people to do the whole matching PJ photograph. Well, what if you're the family member that doesn't want to match the PJs? Do you stay out of the photograph? Do you compromise? Do you say it's not a big of a deal? Be thinking about that now. How are you going to handle that if you don't want to do that? If you don't want to do the group activities that require everybody to have lots of uniformity and you don't want to be uniform, how are you going to handle that? All right, let's look at the last section here today, boundaries with co-parents. So if you are co-parenting, this section is for you. How can I survive the rest of my kids' lives with a narcissistic ex? Jason asked me one day during a session. He shared two children with Jessica, who talked negatively about him to the children all the time. She also left discipline up to Jason, thereby making him appear to be the bad guy. He watched her manipulate the children by telling them how she wished she could have more time, even though she had been adamant about 50-50 custody. Jason began to find it harder and harder to communicate with Jessica because she repeatedly told him that he was the one at fault for the divorce's impact on the children. The term co-parent applies to coupled or uncoupled parents. Even when couples are married or separated, but mostly amicable, it can be challenging to raise children with two different sets of beliefs as to how to go about it. Parents may unknowingly affect their children negatively by having a contentious relationship with each other. But when we have children with someone, we are forever connected to them. I know it's hard to co parent with an ex who is difficult, but it's more comfortable when healthy boundaries are in place. So, signs that you need healthier boundaries with your co parent. One, they talk to you, they talk about you to your children in a negative way. Two, their decisions negatively impact the child because you and the other parent cannot agree. Three, children. Number four, children are made to pick a side, choose who's right or wrong, or the parent that they would like to be closest to. And five, children are used as pawns in disputes. So, what do these boundaries with co parents look like? All right, I apparently went out for a moment, so let me read those last two to you. Signs that you need healthier boundaries with your co parents. Four, children are made to pick a side, to choose who's right or wrong, or the parent they would like to be closest to. And five, children are now used as pawns in your disputes. These are all signs that you need healthier boundaries with your co parent. All right, what those boundaries could look like: discussing issues together before talking to the children, honoring a custody agreement if one is in place, not sharing inappropriate information with children about the other parent, creating rules about how to argue in front of the children, using a mediator if issues cannot be resolved amicably, assigning a pickup and drop off location when sending children to the other parent's homes. Boundaries with co parents can sound like the following: while we don't see eye to eye on this, I wonder what might be a reasonable compromise. I think it's best if a mediator helps us decide what is fair in terms of custody and child support. Our children should not see us fighting. I don't I won't have an inappropriate conversation in front of them. Please don't speak about me and what you think of me in front of the children. The children. All right. Children how to exist in their own. Children want to feel safe. You can only do your part. If you set a boundary, you must honor it. Children greatly benefit from their parents getting along, whether they are together or not together. All right. So that was what I wanted to share today as far as reading. On my social media page, we are having a, I wouldn't say heated discussion. Um, I would say we're having an important discussion about the labor that can sometimes be expected of Black women in our relationships. And the conversation was sparked around this image here. Some of you have probably seen the video. Um, I went back and looked at the video, but I also went back and looked at it from a couple of angles, where Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were at a um, movie promotion. Let me turn this back on. They were at a movie promotion, and she was protecting Ariana Grande from a bystander who had run across them to get to Ariana Grande and, sort of kind of startled her. And there was security coming behind him because obviously he had broke from the barrier that security was supposed to be having. He broke through, got to her, and Arrivo stretched past the woman that was initially on the other side, shoved the guy. You could hear her in the video saying, "Get off." And then, she turned and asked if her friend was okay. Now, people are looking at this incident in there, and some people are saying, hey, if this was anybody in this situation, she moved on instinct to protect her friend. I would hope somebody would do that for me. And I completely get that perspective, right? But a young lady online by the name of Hannah Drake was offering some more viewpoint that I said this is speculation because we don't really know the full context around what was going on in Cynthia Erivo's mind. So this is speculation, but it is also valid speculation because this is how many black people, especially black women, are conditioned. And I'm going to read you her statement and then we can chop it up a little bit about this statement, okay? She said Cynthia Erivo is a black woman who doesn't yet understand that she is worthy of being in all spaces without needing to perform labor. This is interesting given her character in Wicked. However, life often imitates art. By now, you might have seen the footage when a fan rushes up to Ariana Grande and Cynthia dives in, wraps her body around Ariana to protect her, moving faster than the security that was coming to secure the guy. They are paid to do the service that Cynthia is freely providing. As a standalone incident, many people would think this is someone protecting a friend, and that's understandable. I think a lot of people would spring into action when they see a perceived threat. But notice who did not immediately spring into action. None of her other colleagues did. You take this incident and another incident of Cynthia helping her colleague down the stairs, running to get paper towels when a fan had spilled a drink on her. It signals that she doesn't understand she is worthy of being in spaces without providing that labor. She enters into spaces feeling she needs to perform labor to maintain or justify being in the space. To be sure, many women do this. I'll bake the cookies for the meeting. I'll organize the Christmas office party. I'll stop and pick up the coffees for the gathering. I'll help you down the stairs while no one is helping me. Ariana is being protected while she is not. When you think back on your life, how often have you provided labor in spaces when that simply wasn't your job? This need to be the fix-it woman is exacerbated with Cynthia because she is carrying a lot into any space that she enters. She is black. She is a woman. She is a part of the LGBTQIA community. She is masculine presenting to some. She is bald, which is unconventional in mainstream beauty standards. She has dark skin in a world that values whiteness and anything white adjacent. And these are mainly things we can see. We do not know any additional invisible things that she's bringing into the space. She says here her co stars, on the other hand, particularly the women, show up in spaces as if they belong in them. They aren't going out of their way to do any extra labor or protecting. Their labor was their acting. Their labor was the job they were hired to do. So they don't feel the need to provide services in these spaces. They understand that they are the talent and people are paid to serve them. It is my hope one day Cynthia and all women understand that you being in the space means you are worthy of being there and you do not need to perform labor while you are there. Show up in all your glory. You are here and you belong here. Now, a lot of people actually resonated with what this young lady said, Hannah Drake. But some people did push back and they said, hey, you know, we don't know the full context here. That's not necessarily what this is. Um, you know, I think that she's just being protective. I think it's human to jump in and protect in this situation. Someone said, would any of you instinctively move into action for anyone that you call a friend? One thing I've noticed that British celebrities are way different than American celebrities. She's also admitted that she doesn't hold some of the same viewpoints as a Black American would. And I said, I think that that is a very valid and true statement, right? So I'm not discounting any of these opinions. What I am saying is her assessment of how Black women often show up in spaces is true. And it may not be for her situation, but then I said, okay, let me go and look at some more footage around Cynthia and this whole movie premiere. So I found another footage that I'm actually going to show you that's not Ariana Grande being in a dangerous situation, right? Because that was danger. This guy just hopping out, running to her. We don't know who he was, if he had a possible weapon, any of that. So I get that. I get people saying that's just natural, that's instinctual, that she would come and jump into the situation. But here's another one. Ariana Grande is not in danger in this moment. Let's watch the footage. All right. So in that moment, Ariana Grande is not in danger, but you still have Cynthia over on the side performing the labor. She's, telling the people, hold on, wait a minute, what is it that you need? So she is, in fact, as Hannah Drake's, let me pause that. She is, in fact, as Hannah Drake suggested, putting out and presenting this need to be the labor in a situation where she's also the talent. Now I could reason that okay, she jumped in for the guy running across as a protective instinctual measure. This you cannot reason that here. Okay? She's standing there, she's looking at the cameras, she's doing the red carpet thing, she's posing for the cameras, and she is still performing the labor in that moment. All right? So, I have to go back to what the young lady said about us wanting to do labor in places, in spaces where the labor has already been done. Now, if Ariana Grande is paying her to be her personal assistant, that would make sense for her to be off to the side, waving people down, telling them to hold on, telling them to back up. But I'm going to share with you, I'm going to give you another perspective. This is from someone who is inside the LGBT say about what they saw. Let's roll the tape.
Favorite goddess king, lady speech. The way white women are salivating over Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's relationship should be studied. And I don't like it. The way y'all position black women to be your saviors, the way y'all position black women to be your mammies, the way y'all position black women to be your men in shining armor because you refuse to stop birthing your own oppressor. I don't like the way Ariana is playing into her white girl infantilization, the way she's been playing into this. lot of her career. I don't like the way y'all have masculinized Cynthia, and I don't like the way she's playing into this as a dark skinned black woman savior of this white woman. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't give a fuck what their personal dynamic in their friendship is. They could be friends. This could be a performance. No matter what that intent is in that intimacy of their relationship, the impact is going to make black women come up on the shorter end of the stick. I already see it in the way so many white women, white straights, white lesbians are romanticizing their relationship. I already see it in the way you are discounting Cynthia's humanity. Does Cynthia get a chance to be soft? Did y'all consider the fact that the way she responded was her own trauma response? Because if you come from white women, you're gonna come from us because you already come for us. You already come for us. The way y'all discount the fact that Cynthia is reacting out of a trauma response, the way y'all acknowledge Ariana is acting out of a trauma response, does not sit well with me. Y'all's anti-blackness is real loud. Y'all's willingness to make black women your mammies and your servants and your saviors is really loud. And for those of you who think this isn't a big deal, you are part of the problem. All that to say, I don't like what's going on with this Cynthia and Ariana situation. This is propaganda that's gonna work against black women and femmes. And I don't like it. As someone who is a card carrying part of the bald headed, obviously black, dark skinned community, as someone who is a part of marginalized community, I feel very qualified. As someone who's been masculinized by so many white women who infantilize themselves, I feel very qualified. I don't like what y'all are doing with this situation. Message from your favorite goddess king, Lady Speech.
All right. So, y'all tell me what you all think. Because when I initially saw the video, I saw the protectiveness measure of a Revo, but I also saw how many people did not move. And somebody mentioned that could be because of the bystander factor, right? People kind of freeze and not know what to do in the moment. But I also just showed you another video where Ariana Grande is not in danger and Cynthia Revo is still doing the labor in that moment, in that friendship. It feels awkward to me. And she brought up the point of infantilizing versus masculinizing in a friendship. Now there is people speculating saying that they're in a romantic relationship, but Ariana Grande, and I did look at some reports and articles, Ariana Grande has stated for herself they are not in a romantic relationship. She's actually in a relationship with someone else that started late last year around this time. So we cannot say that they're in a romantic relationship and that's why she is acting in this protective mode. I think that Lady Speech has brought up some valid points that you might not see an issue with how she's behaving in the now, but that will directly and negatively impact black women as a whole. So, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know down in the comments. I am going to go now to our talk back. We're moving into our talk back time. And Pastor Ben, if you want to come on and join us for that conversation, setting boundaries with your extended family members and our black women putting ourselves in a position of superwomaning. I know that I have spent the last, I would say, decade moving away from superwomaning myself. Um, like she said, Hannah Drake was saying here about entering into spaces and not feeling like you need to be the person to fix it. A lot of us are trying to deconstruct from that, I guess, phenomenon, or deconstruct from that mindset of automatically coming to the rescue of people, automatically trying to jump in and save the day, even though we might have the information, we don't necessarily need to be the one executing it, right? We got to, in many ways, learn how to delegate. We do not have to always be the person running to save the day. And are you live with us now? I don't see you.
Yes.
All right, but I do hear you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
All right. All right, so we got two topics here. We got setting boundaries with your family, if you're co parenting, if you have other family members, extended family members, and then we have this idea of Black women accepting our place in a space without feeling like we have to perform some kind of labor in order to justify our existence or justify our presence in a space.
Mhm.
Give me your thoughts.
Or my thoughts
Hmm.
or my actions.
Both of them.
Because listen, dealing
Dealing
dealing with
dealing with
my
my
siblings,
siblings,
I
I
can
can
shut
shut
them
them
down
down
in
in
a
a
heartbeat.
heartbeat. Don't cross those boundaries.
Hmm.
And
Two
two
of
of
those
those
siblings
siblings
always
always
seem
seem
to
to
want
want
to
to
cross
cross
those
those
boundaries.
boundaries.
Mm.
Like,
Like,
you're
you're
nobody,
nobody,
we
we
can
can
do
do
what
what
we
we
want to
want to
do.
do.
See? And
And
I
I
come
come
down and I
down and
come
I come
down
down
hard
hard
and I
and I
shut it
shut it
down.
down.
There's no
There's no
leeway.
leeway with that because the boundaries have already been established. Everybody else is going to respect it.
Hmm.
You choose not to. It's not an accident. So I put a screeching halt to it.
And
And
you're
you're
right,
right.
set
Set boundaries.
boundaries.
Family
Family
members
members
don't
don't
have
have
to
to
be
be
involved
involved
in
in
everything
everything
concerning
concerning
your
your
life.
life, and
They
they
should
should
never
never
dictate
dictate
your
your
life.
life.
It's
It's
your
your
life.
life. Live
Live
it
it
for
for you,
you,
not
not
them.
them.
And you know, that's a very simple statement, but do you know the amount of people that can't move into that statement? Because they're
Hmm.
literally always looking up to figure out what someone else thinks about their life or how they're moving
Hmm.
in their life. And I have witnessed several people who will not make any next move without getting the input of certain family members. And I'm like, listen, I don't have that kind of time to be trying to micromanage someone else's life. Like, don't wait
Right.
on me to make decisions about how you need to be moving and operating and living. I'm I'm preoccupied with the life I'm trying to live.
Hmm.
I got a lot on my plate as it is. And that's I know for me right now, I feel like I'm in a space where people are trying to, I don't know if I would say purposefully hand me a cape, but it seems like situations are like, here's a cape. Here you go. Here's a cape. Here you go. Here's a cape. Here you go. And I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to operate as fully functioning adults. And that's where I am
Hmm.
personally. Um, I'm trying to throw off capes as they're being handed to me because I know for myself, um, I have to focus on sort of almost one or two things at a time. And if I have too much on my plate, then I know somewhere in my own personal journey and walk, things are going to start falling to the side that I know that I need to take care of personally. And so I am
Mm-hmm.
not the person to hand multiple things to and expect juggling to occur satisfactorily. Something's going to fall. And
Mm-hmm.
you just have to know yourself and you have to communicate that to people. Listen, this is what I have on my plate now. I would love to be of service. I would love to, offer support, but right now I can't do it. And they will either receive your boundary or some people will get upset and they'll never talk to you again. That might be a risk that you're taking, but you do have to do what is going to be healthy for you in the long term. And sometimes that means disappointing people and letting people down, um, because you have to attend to what you have to attend to.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the
Well,
thing.
here's the thing.
Well, let's go
Well,
to
let's go
some
to
safety
some safety
procedures.
procedures.
When you're on a
When you're
plane,
on a plane,
they give you a
they give
warning,
you a
they give you
warning, they give you
instructions that
instructions
certain
that if certain
situations apply.
situations apply,
You make
you
sure you
make
have
sure you
your
have your
mask on
mask on
before you help
before you help
somebody
somebody
else
else
on a
on a
boat.
boat.
You make sure
Make
you
sure
have
you
your
have
life
your life
vest on
vest on
before you
before
try
you
to help
try to help
somebody
somebody
else.
else.
Now,
Now,
all
all
this
this
is
is
to
to
make
make
sure
sure
you're
you're
secure.
secure. Mhm.
You
You
help
help somebody
somebody
else
else
because you
because you
can
can
go
go
down
down
with
with
that
that
person
person
because
because
all
all
your
your
stuff is
stuff
now
is now
being
being
neglected
neglected
Mhm.
while
while
you're
you're
trying
trying
to
to
help
help
that
that
person,
person,
and
and
then
then
you
you both
both
end
end
up
up
going
going
down.
down.
So,
So,
but
but
yeah, your
your
life,
life,
live your
live
life
your life,
because
because
chances are
chances are
these
these
same
same
people
people
are not
are
going to
not going
put
to
their
put their
life on
life
hold
on
for
hold
you.
for you.
They're not
They're
going to
not
be
going to
looking
be
for
looking for
your
your
opinion about
opinion about
something,
something,
but they want to
but they want
give
to
you
give you
your
your
opinion
opinion
about you.
about you.
So
So
now
now
let's speak
let's speak
about the
about
the Ariana
Ariana
Grande
Grande
situation.
situation.
Mhm. I s-
Absolutely,
and like
and like
you,
you,
that
that
first one.
first one.
Okay,
Okay,
number
number
one, we
one,
know
we
that
know that
black
black
women
women
have a
have a
mothering
mothering
protective
protective
instinct.
instinct. Mhm.
They'll
They'll
jump into
jump into
stuff
stuff
to
to
protect
protect
somebody.
somebody. Mhm.
Now, with
Now,
that
with that
second
second
video,
video,
I'm with
I'm
you.
with you.
That
That
wasn't that
wasn't that
role.
role. Nope.
It
It
clearly
clearly
wasn't that
wasn't that
role.
role. Nope.
Not at
Not at
all.
all.
So
So
now
now
I got
I
to
got to
veer off
veer
from
off
that
from that
first
first
perspective
perspective
and
and
say that,
say that,
okay,
okay,
she's
she's
going
going
over and
over and
beyond.
beyond.
Her
Her
mindset
mindset
has been
has been
programmed,
programmed,
and
and
this is my opinion,
only
okay?
my
Only
opinion,
my opinion,
that
that
she is a servant.
that she what? It was got choppy right when you're speaking.
Are you there?
I am. I couldn't hear you for a moment.
Okay.
You were saying that in
No, I
your.
said it seems as though she's. No, go ahead.
No, I want to make sure you're not cut off, so I'm listening.
Okay. It seems as though she's seeing herself. I'm gonna say it this way: not as another actress, not as a co-star,
Star,
but pretty
but
much
pray
as a
as a
servant.
servant.
Mm. See,
See,
this is
this is
her
her
stage as
stage as
well.
well.
Right. I think that's the part that people are missing. Like you
Yeah.
could you could make the case for okay, she was being instinctual to protect her friend when the guy ran out. And I don't know if you saw the clip, but I can bring that clip up so you can see it. All right. When the guy runs out and, tries to just
sort of like Maul as a fan, the friend, and she runs to protect. Okay, we could dismiss that, but you cannot dismiss the second video
Mm-mm.
where there is no danger and she's still performing the role of servant and she's a fellow actor.
Mm-hmm.
So let me do
And
that.
then,
Let me find that clip. And let's see, Arrivo protects. Yeah, see, it's popular now. So I'm going to see if I can find it as a reel so you can see the video. Okay, so you saw that? But even in her running
mm-hmm.
to protect, there was a whole team of security coming to get dude. But
Mm-hmm.
she broke away first to come after dude, and then you see the security team following behind. It's seconds, but they were still, on the way. That was understandable. I can see why people would say that was just instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
But that other one, she's not in danger.
Nope. Nope.
She's standing there. She is telling the reporters to stop shouting at her, but all of the whole motioning and hold up and are you okay, and we gotta call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's one thing if she was hired
Yep.
to be her assistant and she was doing that, but if she's the fellow actress promoting the film, that feels awkward and out of place for her to be doing
Mm-hmm.
that at a premiere, at a red carpet event.
Mm-hmm.
It does. But go ahead.
Yeah. So, and then the third lady, what was it? Lady Speaks?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. She got some very valid points.
Mm-hmm.
Society we live in right now, all it takes is one black person to do something, and especially if it benefits seem to benefit a white narrative,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. That's the norm. That's the way we all are. So, matter of fact, I saw a video this morning where there were two black girls fighting in school, and somebody had a nerve to say, "This is why white people, children don't need to be going to school with black people."
Mm.
And I'm like, "Oh, so it's okay for white folks to come shoot up schools because that's perfectly safe.
Mm.
But two black girls fighting, and that ruins the whole school."
Mm.
You see the mindset of some people?
Mm-hmm.
That two black girls fighting, and just did a broad sweep with everything. But people come with an AR-15 and shoot up the school and unalive innocent children.
Now that's a really good point. What if children, black parents, were demanding to be resegregated because of the all the school shootings? People would be livid.
Hmm.
They'd be like, "What do you mean our boys aren't safe?"
They
You
aren't.
would get whole think pieces about how dare these black people insinuate they need to be separate from us because our children are not safe. You would have, yeah, you would, yeah, it would be
Hmm.
outrage to insinuate that and say, well, we need to go back to segregation because of all these school shootings. That would not fly. That would
Mm-mm.
not fly. Because how dare you try to say that our children are inherently criminal and potential school shooters. We can't be saying that. So yeah, that's a yeah.
Hmm.
That would be problematic. Just as it is problematic to say two black girls fighting means all the schools need to be segregated. But yeah.
Right.
Right. Final thoughts.
Again, as I
As I
said
said
before,
before,
it's your
it's
life
your
and
life
live
and
it.
live it.
Okay.
Okay.
But
But
now,
now,
in this
in this
second
second
situation,
situation,
we all
we
need to
all need to
wake up,
wake up,
be
be
re-educated,
re-educated,
and be
and be
liberated.
liberated. Understand that we are on our own. I think also too, Lady Speech made a very good point that this too is propaganda. We don't
Companies,
we do
well,
only
we
black,
do
and I
only
do that
black, and
pretty
I
much
do
year
that pretty
round for
much
the
year
most
round for
part.
the most part.
52 days.
52 days.
Now,
Now,
we as a group of
we as a
people,
group of people,
our
our
spending power
spending power
is like
is like
1.8
$1.8
trillion
trillion
dollars per
per
year,
year,
something of that, and
and
nobody
nobody
else
else
comes
comes close.
close.
Now, if
If
we
we
shut
shut
down
down
our
our
spending,
spending,
what
what
happens to
happens
the
to the
country?
country? I wouldn't say shut it down. I would say shift it.
Yeah, well, that's what,
That's
yeah,
what judge.
well,
Well,
that's a better
that's a
word,
better word.
shift it.
Shift it. Mm-hmm.
If we
If we
shift it
shift it
to
to
black,
black,
and then the
and then the
next
next
group,
group
that
that
support
support
black,
black,
and
and
so on and
so on and
so
so
forth,
forth,
that money
that
will be
money
in
will
our
be in our
neighborhood, which would
neighborhood, which would
empower
empower
us,
us,
but they
but
will
they
be
will be
losing that.
losing that.
Think about
Think about
losing
losing
$1.8
$1.8
trillion
trillion
per
per
year,
year,
and you got
and you got
nobody else to
nobody else to
replace that.
replace that.
Now, just
Now,
think
just
about
think
that.
about that.
That's the
That's the
power
power
that
that
we
we
have
have
that this
that this
nation
nation
recognizes.
recognizes. Yeah,
They
someone
don't
said they don't
recognize
recognize
anything else
anything else
about us.
about us. Someone said they listen in green.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
listen
it.
in
They
green. They
listen in
listen
green.
in green. Their ears perk up when it's in green.
Hmm.
I think you have a point there. You absolutely have a point. Well, this has been some interesting conversations. I mean, I know that there will be more talk about this idea of black women and our the way we behave in spaces that we belong in. Um, Knowing that you don't have to try to prove your need to be in a space, your the need for your existence in a space. I think that was a very good point that the young lady made. She went on to say, let me come back to it, because she went on to elaborate in her comment section further. So I want to read that as I close out. She said, if you find yourself doing this, and many women do this, stop doing it for 1 week and see how you feel. Stop trying to be the person that's offering labor that nobody asked you for. Try to stop for 1 week and see how you feel. Do not volunteer to do any extra labor. Don't go pick up the donuts for the meeting. Don't volunteer to organize the office potluck. This is the perfect time of year to stop doing this because the holidays are always a time where women often volunteer to do the extra work. Don't do it. If the office Christmas party doesn't get organized, let them hire a party planner. But stop the free labor.
Hmm.
I think some of us, and here's the thing, it's not saying that you don't ever offer help. But if that's your first instinct to do it, you got to examine that. You really should examine it. And then you need to examine who is offering to do free labor for me.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it always me doing the free labor and going above and going beyond? I think it's a good thing to consider about your relationships and how you are expressing yourself and carrying yourself in the world. All right. This has been another episode of Daring Dialogues. I've been your host today, Shante Charles. I want to thank you for your time and for your attention. Remember, light is the most daring opposition to evil. So go out and be what, Pastor Ben?
Light.
Light. Thank you, everyone. Take care, be well, and most importantly, be light.